Hare Krishna. Narration for the Papmochani Ekadashi Katha. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. The venerable glories of Papmochani Ekadashi are given in the Bhavishyotara Puran during a conversation between Sri Krishna and Maharaj Yudhishthir, the eldest of the Pandavas. Yudhishthir asked Lord Krishna, O Lord, you have kindly narrated the glories of Amalki Ekadashi. Now please describe unto me the details of the Ekadashi which occurs during the waning moon in the Chaitra month, March, April. What is this Ekadashi called and what is the procedure for observing it? Lord Krishna replied, O unrivaled king, this Ekadashi is also known as Papmochani. Please listen carefully as I describe its glories unto you. In the dim recesses of the misty past, this Ekadashi was discussed between the sage Lomas and King Mandata. This Papmochani Ekadashi falls during the waning moon in the month of Chaitra, which is the dark moon. By carefully observing this Ekadashi day, all one's sinful reactions will be nullified. One need never fear taking birth. As a ghost, it can also reward 8 kinds of mystic perfection. The great sage known as Lomas said, in an ancient time, Kuver, the treasurer of the demigods, boasted a heavenly forest known as Chaitarath. The weather was always pleasant there and exhibited an eternal springtime atmosphere. Many heavenly society girls, such as the Gandharvas and Kinnaras, would come to that celestial forest to enjoy sporting in its blissful surroundings. King Indra and many other demigods would also come there to enjoy many varieties of exchanges. There was also a sage known as Medhavi residing in the forest. He was a staunch devotee of Shiva and was engaged in performing great austerities. The Apsaras, or heavenly dancing girls, tried to disturb the sage in various ways. Of all the Apsaras, one was most celebrated and famous. Her name was Manju Ghosh, and she devised a cunning plan to captivate the mind of sagacious saint. She built a house situated just near the sage's ashram and began to sing sweetly whilst playing enchanting melodies on the veena. Upon witnessing Manju Ghosh's salubrious beauty, adorned as she was with sandalwood pulp, fragrant garlands, and divine ornaments, the Cupid, who is a forsworn enemy of Lord Shiva, tried to conquer the sage by way of revenge against Lord Shiva. The Cupid had once been burnt to ashes by Lord Shiva, and thus remembering this previous insult, conspired to humiliate the Shiva's devotee. He entered the body of the sage Medhavi just as Manju Ghosh approached him by playing on her veena, singing sweetly and casting seductively arrowed glances from the quiver of her eyes. The sage Medhavi became intoxicated with desire and enjoyed with the beautiful Apsara for many years. So absorbed he was enjoying in this way, he lost all sense of time, even the ability to discriminate between day and night. Henceforth, when Manju Ghosh grew tired of the Medhavi sage, she decided to return to her own abode. She said to Medhavi, O great sage, please allow me to return to my home in the heavenly planets. The sage replied, O beauty incarnate, you have only arrived here in the evening. At least stay until morning and then depart. Upon hearing these words, Manju Ghosh became frightened and stayed with Medhavi for a few more years. In this way, although she stayed with the sage for 57 years, 9 months and 3 days, it only appeared to the sage to be half a night. Manju Ghosh asked again for permission to leave, but the sage replied, O attractive one, this is only morning. Please wait until I have completed my morning rituals. The beautiful Apsara then smiled and said, O great sage, how long will your rituals take? Have you not finished yet? You have been enjoying with me for so many years. Please consider the actual value of time. On hearing these words, the sage came to his senses and realized the sense of time that had passed. Alas, O beautiful lady, I have simply wasted 57 years of my valuable time. You have ruined my life, spoiled all my austerities, and condemned me to madness. The eyes of the Medhavi sage filled with tears, and his body convulsed as he cried. Raising his head, his eyes turned red with anger, and in fearsome voice he cursed Manju Ghosh with the following words: "O evil one, you have behaved with me exactly like a witch, therefore you will immediately become a witch. O sinful, unchaste lady, shame on you." After being cursed by the sage, Manju Ghosh replied, "O best of the Brahmanas, please withdraw your heavy duty curse. I have spent many years in your company, bringing you pleasure beyond your wildest dreams. Surely for this reason you can forgive me. Please be kind to me." The sage replied, "O gentleman one, what will I do now? You have destroyed my wealth of austerity. Still, I will give you a chance to free yourself from this curse. The ekadashi that falls during the waning month of Chaitra month is called Papmochani. If you observe this ekadashi very strictly, all your sinful reactions will be destroyed and you will be free of this crippling curse." After speaking these words, Medhavi returned to the ashram of his father, Chavan Rishi. As soon as Chavan Rishi saw his pathetic son, he became extremely disappointed. "Alas, alas, my son, what have you done? You are ruined. You should not have spoiled yourself in this way." The young sage Medhavi replied, "O father, I have committed great sins in the company of a beautiful Apsara. Please instruct me, how can I be freed from sinful reactions?" Chavan Rishi replied, "O my son, there is an ekadashi that falls in the waning moon of the month of Chaitra. This ekadashi will destroy all your sinful reactions. Therefore, you should follow this ekadashi. But you should know that I am most disappointed in you." Thereafter, the sage Medhavi observed Papmochani Ekadashi and regained his elevated status as a sage of great repute. At the same time, Manju Ghosh carefully observed Papmochani Ekadashi and got liberated from her accursed form, regained her bodily attractiveness, and returned to the heavenly strata. After narrating this story to King Mandhata, King Lomas concluded as follows: "My dear king, anyone who observes this Ekadashi will have all his sinful reactions annihilated. Simply by reading or hearing of this glorious Ekadashi day, one achieves the result of donating 1,000 cows in charity. All kinds of sinful reactions arising from killing a Brahman, killing an embryo, drinking wine, associating with one's guru's wife are completely uprooted by observing Papmochani Ekadashi. Therefore, everyone should have advantage of this most auspicious and magnanimous opportunity." Hare Krishna.